So you might have heard some rumblings out there about this real estate lawsuit. And I'm obviously just a real estate agent. I am not a lawyer in this case or anything like that. But I can tell you that a lot of the reporting is honestly just wrong. Most of the news sites quote the plaintiff's attorney, which basically makes it appear that commissions are being set at the brokerage level and that we're not allowed to change commissions or negotiate, and that basically it is a unfair trade practice. If you read a decent story, it will go into some detail on what the specific commission is and what it actually is. And we're going to talk about that in this video and the impact and what it's going to look like. So I hate to break it to you off the bat, but the headlines are greatly exaggerated. The actual basis of the lawsuit is something called cooperating brokerage commissions. It is not about that 6 or 7% total commission. That is what writers for these news articles have glommed onto and writing headlines about, Americans are overpaying, billions of dollars on commissions every year. First, we need to get to a little bit of background though. Whenever a listing agreement is signed, that agreement is signed between the listing brokerage and the owner of the property. In that agreement, it names the sales price. It names the total commission, which is that 5%, 6%, 7% that you always hear about. And then there's also a second commission in there, which is the commission that is offered to a buyer's broker or buyer's agent. That is usually in the 2 to 3% range. That is the listing agreement, which has nothing to do with National Association of Realtors or anything like that. That is usually either at the local real estate board has put a contract together or the state board for whatever state you're practicing in. They put together that listing agreement. That's the one we're authorized to use. There is no requirement for any sort of compensation or commission on that agreement. I could literally write a listing agreement for $1 in commission, and I can offer the buyer's agent $0. So that is not the problem. So what is the problem? The lawsuit is specifically about buyer's agent commission, and specifically MLS requirements for buyer's agent commission. Currently the rule is, for fair cooperation, if you are a listing agent listing a home on the MLS, you have to offer some commission to the buyer's agent. Normally, that is going to be between 2 and 3%, depending upon market forces, price of the home, and some other things. I can, again, if that listing agreement that the property owner has signed, if that listing agreement says $1, I can put $1 in the MLS, and I can offer a buyer's agent $1 in commission. The change that this lawsuit sets is that can go from $1 to $0, meaning that there is no requirement to offer compensation. And this is not new. Like, this has been years and years and years and years and years where you do not have to offer, you have to offer some compensation, but it can literally be $1 or 1 penny. So if that's the case, why isn't everybody doing that? And the answer is because it is actually in the seller's interest to offer that buyer's agent commission. Well, it's like, the buyer's agent isn't representing the seller. Why would the seller want to offer that? And the answer is you offer that commission so that you have the largest buyer pool possible to get the best price for that house for sale. If you only offer $1 in commission or 0, if you only offer that, the number of buyers that are going to be interested in your house are going to be significantly less because agents who take their time to market and sell houses are not going to be as interested in showing your house at 0 or $1 commission than they are other houses in the 2% to 3% range. To go to another section of the industry to illustrate this point, let's look at new home construction. New home construction, most of the homes that builders build do not show up on the MLS. They also, a lot of times, are not members of the local real estate board. They do not list on the MLS, so they are not required to offer a sizable commission. And a few builders do that. They don't offer 0 or $1, but they will offer significantly reduced commissions. But most home builders, even though they have no requirement to, either legally or ethically by the local real estate board, even though they don't have to, almost every builder still offers 2 to 3% in commission to the buyer's agent. And the reason why is because they want agents showing houses. And they want agents to be very friendly towards showing buyers new construction houses. Because again, the goal is to sell the house for the most money, and to do that, you need the largest buyer pool. You can also currently sell a house with 0 commission. For sale by owner is very much a thing. There is loads of statistics out there that will show you that selling a house for sale by owner results in a much lower home price than engaging with a great real estate agent. So on Zillow or Realtor.com, I usually sell way more than my commission, higher than what their estimated price is for that house. And it's because it takes a high degree of skill to effectively market a property if you're the listing agent, and it takes a high degree of skill to help a buyer navigate the purchase. So, and again, you can buy a house without a buyer's agent. The way the listing agreement is structured, it does not necessarily result in more money in your pocket or the seller's pocket. A lot of times it will end up in the broker's, in the listing agent's pocket. And I don't think anybody in this scenario here, in this squabble, I don't think anybody is saying that buyers do not want to be represented. Honestly, more people buy a house with a real estate agent than sell a house with a real estate agent. The aforementioned for sale by owners. And I'm not here to defend overall the real estate industry. There's definitely a lot of room for improvement in this industry. I am mainly trying to improve my corner for both myself professionally and especially for my clients, both on the buying and selling side. Definitely, I also have some complaints with the National Association of Realtors. For example, I don't know why I am regionally restricted to listings instead of having, a national MLS access better than Zillow or Realtor.com, which is, they have all of our listings, but that's getting a little bit too much in the weeds. But effectively, just to kind of come back to the topic here, you can already do $1 commissions, and you have been able to for years and years and years. The change has been, it's now allowed to offer $0 commissions. And, MLS's, one of the MLSs I'm a part of, they're putting that system into place in the next month here where that can be done. But like I said, listings with $1 commission have been a thing for a while, and I can tell you that they tend to sell for a lot less than a regular 5, 6, 7% commission. And again, the reason why is because agents are not interested in bringing their buyers to houses with those lower commissions. Long term, of course, NAR is going to, appeal this, dispute this. They're probably also going to, put some leverage on the legislative side of things just to, probably get some laws passed and all that stuff. I have nothing to do with any of that. I'm just an agent trying to help people as best as I can, give you the factual information. So it's kind of to be determined how that is going to shake out. I have been kind of workshopping some things. And the main thing is, if eventually, let's say the plaintiff's dream becomes true, where buyers pay buyer's agent commission, the problem then becomes that the way that the real estate market has been set up for decades and decades and decades and decades, how all of that has been set up is basically to ease and smooth the real estate transaction. So it's not just that if you eliminate the seller paying buyer's agent's commission, it's not like everyone's just going to say, oh shucks, guess I'm working for free now. The problem then becomes buyers want representation. If they have to come out of pocket to pay a buyer's agent commission, the problem then becomes that the offer that they're going to make on the house diminishes as well, because in their mind, they're making that calculation on what total this is going to be. And so we did the builders analog, where builders, even though they're not required, offer commission to buyer's agents. We have, again, for sale by owners. So I am actually able to help buyers negotiate, contract, and close with for sale by owners. And I have successfully done so. And this is basically the process. So the buyer, I have them sign a buyer's brokerage agreement, which again is totally a thing. I can sign an agreement with a buyer's broker. It's called a buyer's broker agreement. And I have to sign it in the case of for sale by owners because there is not that listing agreement set up. And it also establishes representation and some other legal things that have to be done with the buyer before I can call somebody who is not under the listing agreement and negotiate and ask questions and negotiate on that buyer's behalf. So here's how the call usually goes. Hello, Mr. For Sale by Owner. So you have a property at 123 Main Street. Just wanted to see what the condition is. Condition's good. That's great. I have a buyer. They would love to come by and take a look at it. Could we do that maybe Thursday at 10 o'clock? That's great. We'll be there then. Out of curiosity, what are you offering to buyer's agents for compensation? Now, here's where things diverge. So you have two different types of for sale by owners. You have people selling their own house that understand the benefit of someone willing to come and show a house and offer that professional expertise, because it's not just showing the house. Like, there's a whole bundle of legal and ethical responsibilities that comes with me showing up and being involved in a transaction. It's not just opening a door and showing you a house. It's managing the project, managing the paperwork, making sure everything that is legally and ethically handling, making sure disclosures are all correct. And if I get something wrong, there's errors and omissions insurance, as well as state funds that provide some backstop for you, the client or party involved in the transaction. If I get something wrong or commit fraud or negligence, there are funds and insurances to keep you whole. That's vague, but we're literally talking about money. There is money that I pay every month into, both state and insurance-wise, where if I do something wrong, you have the possibility of getting money to make your property or home correct. So there's some for sale by owners that understand the benefit of that. And, so a lot of time, I will say 8 times out of 10 with for sale by owners, when I call them up, they say, no problem, we're offering X% for the buyer's agents. Great, we'll be over, et cetera, et cetera. If we actually go under contract, we set up, an actual, it's called a commission agreement instead of a listing agreement, because, that's some legal details that I'm sure you don't care about. The flip side of that is for sale by owner says, we're not offering any commission. It's for sale. Price is the price. You're welcome to show it. Great. Hang up with them. Well, sorry, I don't say great. I usually explain, hey, there's a lot of benefit to having me involved, in the transaction here. I can tell you that the buyer's not really going to like this so much. It's going to definitely affect their value calculation on this. There's a lot of benefit, a lot of protections for you. A lot of times people will call me back a few days later and say, yeah, we'll cover the commission. But every now and then someone is just like, nope, we're not paying nothing. Price is the price. Show it, buy it if you want it. We don't care. Great. Hang up with them, call the buyer back. Mr. Buyer, we're able to see, 123 Main Street tomorrow. By the way, they have refused to cover any part of the buyer's agent compensation. So that means that you will be coming out of pocket to pay for this. As soon as I say that, the buyer's mind flips. They have a huge negative impression of the house right off the bat. And they're also immediately discounting that house by $10,000 to $15,000 before they even see it. And I can't tell you how many times I've had that conversation. It is the same thing every time. Now, obviously, if things go nuts and the entire real estate transaction process gets reformed, those expectations may change. But currently, so far as conditions on the ground now goes, that is the current sequence of events. I do have some thoughts and ideas that I've been kind of workshopping with lenders and stuff for workarounds if this does take effect. The immediate effect is probably nothing's going to change. For one, listing agreements are already in place that guarantee buyers agent compensation. And compensation offers are already on the MLS, and the requirement is whatever compensation was offered at the time that a buyer puts an offer in, that is what commission has to be paid. But we'll see. It's kind of all to be determined whether, a lot of people test the waters and try this $1, $0 thing or $0 thing. You can do a $1 thing now. There's some other articles out there about collusion and, NAR setting commissions or artificially maintaining commissions. I can tell you that I have had the ability to negotiate my commission to whatever I wanted it to be from day one. So the thing with being a real estate agent is we are pretty much all 1099 independent contractors. We do have to be licensed under a broker. And that broker can set a commission for that brokerage, but you cannot set a commission between multiple brokerages or in a region. And at least the brokerages that I'm at, I am with them because they give me the flexibility to set whatever commission I feel is reasonable for my personal business. Do I negotiate some of my commissions? Sure. If you have bought 2 or 3 houses with me, we're definitely discounting the commission a little bit. Just that seems like the right thing to do. So on the listing side, to effectively market a property, you do have to spend a lot of money. I usually spend about, $400 to $700 per listing at a minimum to effectively market that property between, photos, videos, all that stuff. On the buyer side, there's not as much out-of-pocket expense. It's more of a time thing where, you spend time in the car driving people around showing houses. Both of those need to be compensated. And I do fully agree with probably what you're thinking, which is most real estate agents are not very good at it. I do agree with a lot of that sentiment. Like I said, there's a lot of things that can be improved in this industry. But when you find a great realtor that has extensive knowledge of both neighborhoods, negotiating contracts, understanding the contract process and when to apply a lever to try to get a price reduction or something like that, versus like finding a great agent that also has a great inspector that's not just rubber stamping things. They're actually, taking the house apart to look and tell you all of the things that are wrong with it. An agent that has the perspective, both locally and nationally of like what's going on, what the trends are and all that stuff. All of that does definitely have value. And again, no one is disputing that buyers want representation, like buyers want an extremely knowledgeable agent. The question in this lawsuit was about the seller being required to pay for it. And again, the seller doesn't have to pay a buyer's agent commission. It's just really in their best interest to do so. That's the truth behind this recent lawsuit that we've had. We'll see what happens. So anyway, my name is Kyle Sasser. This is Ashlar Home Team. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, good experiences, bad experiences, I'd love to hear all of that down below in the comments. Feel free to start a conversation. I would love to have a chat with you. If you have some specific questions, you can book a call. That link is down below. You can go there, pick a time that works best for you. So thanks again for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon.